meditation in meditate. No, correctly. It's spelled correctly. Oh, meditation is spelled incorrectly at the end. So please excuse me for that and forgive me. But once again, we're going to start a talk right now in detail on practices in living the awakened life with a master meditation at the end of this this conversation. So stay tuned right to the end if you have the patience. Stay right to the end. So first of all, a little bit about the book. The book just got published 2 days ago, and thanks to your enthusiasm, it is on several bestseller lists. I just want to read to you the various chapter headings, okay? So Total Meditation, Chapter 1, Why Total Meditation, Chapter 2, Your Life is Your Meditation, Chapter 3, Let Your Body Guide You, Chapter 4, The Stuckness Syndrome, Chapter 5, Getting Unstuck, Chapter 6, Self-Empowerment, Chapter 7, Everyday Awake. That's the initial part of the book. And then there are many practices in the book. Here are some of them. Feeling the Miracle, 10 practices in experiencing miraculous life every day. And then a 7-day meditation course. Then Vibrating the Silence with 52 mantras, Epilogue, the Master Meditation, which I'm going to do with you today. So those are some of the chapters in this book, Total Meditation, Practices in Living the Awakened Life. And once again, I will be doing a master meditation at the end of this. So I will start now. I have been practicing meditation myself for the last 45 years. And of course, initially I started meditation for health reasons, also because as a physician, I knew that stress was the #1 factor in predisposing people to illness, directly or indirectly. And so I started meditation, and I learned myself through personal experience that it was the best cure for my addictive tendencies and my habitual modes of thinking and feeling and behavior. And very shortly thereafter, I experienced amazingly good health. And since last 45 years, we know that meditation has biological effects, lowers blood pressure, lowers heart rate, increases heart rate variability, fine-tunes the immune system, balances the hormones, but it also does many other things, including improves sleep, gives you emotional resiliency, improves your relationships, your communication with the world through social intelligence. It bonds you spiritually with others, and on and on. There are thousands, literally thousands of studies in peer-reviewed journals about the beneficial effects of meditation. But today I'm going to bypass all those and tell you one simple thing. Meditation ultimately is for waking up from the sleepwalking dream that we experience as reality every day. As I've mentioned before, the great philosopher Wittgenstein once said, "We are asleep, our life is a dream, but once in a while we wake up enough to know that we're dreaming." So what's the point of waking up? The point of waking up simply is that we can change the quality of our dreams at any time. We can upgrade the dreams, or if we watch the world right now, it's like a nightmare with all the conflict and divisiveness in the world, but it's still a dream. So dreams can be nightmares, terrifying, give you the heebie-jeebies, or give you intense joy and ecstasy and pleasure. But one thing has to be remembered. Every dream is a mental and perceptual activity. Every dream is a mental and perceptual activity, and that mental and perceptual activity is ungraspable. You can't catch it. Okay, if I asked you, what did you dream last night? You have some vague idea, maybe. But if I asked you all the details, unless you were lucid dreaming, you wouldn't be able to recall the dream. It's evanescent and transient and ephemeral and uncatchable and ungraspable. So, so is the everyday reality, the waking dream that we call now. I mean, if you look around you right now, what are you experiencing? You're experiencing colors and shapes and forms and sounds and textures and smells and thoughts and ideas and feelings and emotions. And if I tried to ask you, if you tried to catch on to every single emotion, every single feeling, every single sensation, perception, thought, image, idea, you wouldn't be able to do that. So obviously, it's ungraspable. This everyday reality is a lucid dream in a vivid now. If I asked you what happened to yesterday, it's now a dream. What happened to 5 minutes ago, it's now a dream. What happens to my words by the time you hear them? They don't exist. It's all a dream. What happens by the time you see me? What you saw was a snapshot. Doesn't exist. What you're seeing right now, by the time you see me and you register it in your consciousness, what you saw doesn't exist. Every perceptual experience is a snapshot. The continuity of experience is the same as the continuity of a movie. And in this case, the continuity comes from the presence of being, awareness, in between the snapshots. Okay. In a movie theater or on a television screen, the continuity comes from the screen and the computer screen or the movie screen, because the only constant in the midst of a changing program. So what we see in the world, including our own body, is a changing program, and it's on the screen of awareness. And indeed, when we wake up from this and are grounded in awareness, the true self, then we can not only see the dream, we can actually choreograph it, produce it, introduce all the characters in the dream, the heroes and the villains, the sacred and the profane, the saints and the sinners. We can make it very interesting, and we can actually participate in creating ultimately even the collective dream that we call the physical universe and the physical world. But to get there requires a deep understanding. That's why total meditation and practices in living the awakened life. The only reason ultimately to meditate is to wake up and then co-create, or actually create from the level of absolute being, your own reality, your own experience reality, because all experience reality is a perceptual and mental phenomenon in awareness, in the true self. If you are not aware of the true self, then you get victimized by the dream that is being perpetuated by the collective insanity of the world right now. What we call the world right now is a dream that is being perpetuated by the collective insanity of the world. What is that? Collective insanity, nuclear weapons, atomic warfare, biological warfare, internet warfare, cyber hacking, poison in our food chain, extinction of species. I think I mentioned climate change, social and economic injustice. This is the recycled insanity of our collective nightmare. So if we want to, first of all, experience our own fundamental nature as the true self, not the ego identity, and if we want to engage with other people who are waking up, then and only then will we be able to create a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier world. So why not give it a try? Why not give it a try starting today with total meditation as your personal practice every day? As I mentioned, I will introduce a master meditation at the end of this live stream, this restream, this podcast. So let's start. Right now, the most important questions in science, two most important questions in science, open questions, and I mentioned these before. One is, what is the universe made of? Everybody agrees that it's made of nothing, but they fight or argue about the nature of the nothingness that creates everything. So that's the number one open question in science. The number two open question in science is, what is the biological basis of consciousness? And that's called the hard problem, and that no one has any idea how atoms or molecules or force fields end up creating the mind, or what we call the mind. Thoughts and feelings and perceptions and emotions and ideas and feelings and emotions and imagination and inspiration and creativity. None of this can be answered through a physicalist ontology, which means if you are a scientist who believes that the ontological primitive of the universe is physical matter, then you cannot explain mind. You cannot explain consciousness. You cannot actually explain any experience whatsoever. Okay, so that's called the hard problem. But now we have a solution to the hard problem through total meditation. And the second question, what is the biological basis of consciousness, actually becomes irrelevant, because biological processes and biology itself is an experience in consciousness. So there's no biological basis for consciousness. Consciousness is the basis of all biological activity, including mental activity, including brain activity, and all of that. And when we wake up, then of course we become in charge of manifesting our dreams as this. We become in charge of manifesting our dreams as this. We also feel the profound peace that comes from the knowing of eternal existence. We feel extreme joy with that. We also know ourselves as a field of infinite possibility on a journey of self-creation, inspiration, insight, intuition, imagination, higher vision, transcendence, liberation from all constructs. That is what it means to live the awakened life. So let's start with very basic ideas. So, as a child, when you are exposed to anything that we call an object, let's say it's a book, or let's say it's a microphone, or let's say it's another body, a hand, these glasses. As a child, when you're exposed to them and you're just looking, right now we are only dealing with visual experience, then what you're looking at is not objects. See, what you're looking at is colors, shapes, and forms. So right now, practice number one, close your eyes. Just for a second, close your eyes. Everyone, please close your eyes. And what you see is nothing. Close your eyes. What you see is nothing. Now open your eyes, and what you see is colors, shapes, and forms, which you then, because you were programmed as a child with language, then you identify them as books, or a hand, or a nose, or a physical body, or spectacles, or microphone. But the basic visual experience is colors, shapes, and forms. That's all it is. And what are colors, shapes, and forms? They're the same thing. Without color, there's no shape. Without shape, there's no form. So anything that has a boundary has a distinct identity because of color, shape, and form. So what are colors, shapes, and forms? Again, close your eyes, nothing. But you are aware. Now open your eyes, and you see color, shapes, and forms, which you then call the objective world. But those color, shapes, and forms are modifications of the light of awareness modifying itself as the perceptual activity of color, shapes, and forms. Or you can just use one word, color. Okay. The 7 colors of the rainbow are the differentiation of light, photons. But actually, light is invisible. And the colors themselves are experienced in consciousness and are modified forms of consciousness. Similarly, the light of awareness is all possibilities, but it has no color. It has no shape. It has no form. As it gets disturbed, as it starts to vibrate and interact with itself, it produces qualia, qualities of the colorless, formless awareness, modifying itself as form and color and shape, which we then label as objects visually. The same principle applies to every mode of knowing, whether the mode of knowing is sound or taste or smell or texture or thought or imagination or emotions. Any experience we have is a mode of knowing in consciousness. And that mode of knowing ultimately is sensations, perceptions, images, feelings, thoughts, emotions, everything that we call experience. But the experience itself is a mode of knowing. So now, of course, in the Eastern wisdom traditions, these modes of knowing have been actually mapped out as the 7 chakras also. So the first chakra, the mode of knowing, is smell, and what is known as the earth element. The second chakra, the mode of knowing, is taste, and what is known as the element water. The third chakra, the mode of knowing, is seeing, and what is experienced is the element that we call seeing. Gives us the experience of the element that we call fire and heat, which is transformation everywhere, entropy, transformation everywhere, biologically, mental transformation, physical transformation. In Eastern wisdom traditions, triggered by the activity of prana, which is the energy involved in modes of knowing. Okay, so the mode of knowing called seeing creates the elemental experience of fire. The mode of knowing called touch creates sensation, okay, and therefore gives us an idea about whether things are solid, soft, angular, rough, smooth. It's a mode of knowing, touch, okay. Then, of course, there's a mode of knowing called sound. Gives us the experience of vibrations of the atmosphere converted into sound in consciousness, because vibrations of the atmosphere inherently have no sound. Okay, so we've now seen these modes of knowing, which are smelling, tasting, touching, seeing, and sound, speaking, hearing. These are all modes of knowing. But then as we move up the chakras, okay, this is where we stopped. Okay, when we go here, the mode of knowing becomes inner light. Inner light accesses the subtle body, the mind, intellect, the ego, and that becomes the mode of knowing. And then we go beyond that, and there's something called pure knowing, which is infinite knowing, spontaneous knowing, expressed as Ichha Shakti, spontaneous fulfillment of desire, Kriya Shakti, spontaneous right action, and Gyan Shakti, spontaneous knowing in the moment of what is needed to be known. And through these modes of knowing, we ultimately transcend all modes of knowing and become the absolute knower. And this is who we are, the absolute knower expressing itself every moment as a relative knower. Relative knower right now is Deepak Chopra. But here's what the problem with all these ideas is. that in your body right now, in your body or in your brain, there's no knower. So when you ask people, where are you? They say, I'm here, meaning somebody is here looking out through these eyes at the world, or listening to this world through these ears, or speaking to this world through this mechanism. But unfortunately, there's nobody inside here to be found. There's nobody to be found outside. When you close your eyes, emptiness. Open your eyes, all this. Or pay attention through hearing, tasting, smelling, whatever. Then what you pay attention to will become known. What you don't pay attention to will disappear. So even if, we are together at a cocktail party and you and me are speaking right now, and somebody at the end of the room started speaking about me, then I stop listening to you, I listen to that person. So what comes into awareness is a quality of attention and intention in the absolute knower that splits itself into subject and object of experience. Complicated, but once you transcend these subject-object experience, you're awake, fully awake, to create, manifest whatever dream you have. I hope that's kind of understandable. Even if it isn't, the practices will help you a lot. Here's one practice that you can try right now. So move your finger against your thumb and then move your thumb against the finger. It's the same activity, right? Finger moving against the thumb, thumb against the thumb moving against the finger. But if I think it's the finger that's the subject of experience, then this thumb becomes the object of experience. If I think the thumb is the subject of experience, this becomes the object. But the only real activity is the sensation. The sensation creates the notion of subject and object. And once that notion is created, then, should I say, all hell breaks loose, because creation starts to happen. Manifestation starts to happen. Okay, so let me read you a couple of things that I posted this morning on Instagram, because here is something that is very interesting, and people are responding to it. So these are two quotes that I have modified from wisdom traditions. The first quote is, "Space-time, the theater of matter and causality, including biological organisms, are the spatio-temporal representation of the self." By the self, I mean the absolute true self, which is being. But this self represents itself and expresses itself as sensations, perceptions, images, feelings, and thoughts. By now, you should be fed up with listening to that. The second quote, "Space begins when you assume you are squeezed into the volume of a body." Well, I just mentioned there's no one inside here to be squeezed into this volume of a body. Time begins when you start thinking. Okay, in the absence of thought, there's no time. Causality begins when you assume limitations. And why do you assume limitations? Because you identify with boundaries. The true self remains blissful in its productions of time. Eternally, timelessly is the true self. Joyful, full of energy, at peace, aware, creative, spontaneous, evolving into expanded modes of creativity, imagination, insight, intuition, and ultimate creation. So with that, let me take you through a master meditation, and I think you'll enjoy it. By the way, the book also has a 7-day meditation course, which will also be on the Chopra app. So check out the Chopra app. It's just called Chopra app. It's on iTunes or wherever. And you will have a very personalized course on the 7-day meditation practice. But now let me take you through the master meditation. Let me know if it works, okay? I am very curious to see your reaction to the master meditation. Let me put this away. Okay, so wherever you are, sit comfortably and keep your hands on your lap, and keep your back relatively erect and using a chair so you're comfortable. And I'm going to do that myself. And then, I said, keep your hands open on the lap. And we can start with eyes closed. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for a master meditation? Okay, eyes closed. Now bring your awareness to your nose and just be aware of any smells that go through your nostrils. That sense of smell, anything that's going through your nostrils. And mentally say to yourself, I am present in everything I smell. I am present in everything I smell. Now keep your eyes closed and just move your tongue in your mouth, feeling the roof of your mouth, the gums, your teeth. Taste whatever experience you're having in your mouth and mentally say to yourself, I am present in everything I taste. Okay, now open your eyes. Just be aware of the colors, shapes, and forms and so-called objects around you, including your own body. Your body is an object. It has a color, shape, and form. As you look around, just mentally say to yourself, I am present in everything I see. Now close your eyes again and start to touch anything. First, just touch your hands. Rub your hands against each other. Then touch your clothes, maybe. Touch elsewhere your skin. Touch the chair that you're sitting on. Mentally say to yourself, I'm present in everything I touch. Keep your eyes closed and listen to my instructions or listen to any sound in your environment. You don't even have to analyze what I'm saying, just hear the sounds and mentally say to yourself, I am present in every sound I experience. I am present in every sound I experience. So now we have experienced through 5 modes of knowing the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space. These are modes of knowing and actually represented in each of the chakras. Keep your eyes closed now. We're going a little deeper. Now, with your eyes closed, just repeat your full name to yourself. I am Deepak Chopra, or I am Asha Pandey, or I am Ingrid Rosentreter, or I am Georgina Hernandez. Okay, so repeat your full name. Then stop repeating your full name and allow your awareness to be filled with all the issues going on in your life, your job, your stresses, finances, relationships, what you have to do today. Let it randomly come into your awareness. The good, the bad, the indifferent, all the experiences you're having these days, mentally. Watch them. And you can say now mentally to yourself, I am present in every thought I'm having. I am present in every thought I'm having. Now switch again and evoke an image in your brain. I like these images myself. Full moon, starscapes, rainbow, sunset on the ocean, sunset over the mountains, Grand Canyon, Empire State Building. Evoke images. You are the formless being, now turning into images. And mentally say to yourself, I am present in every image I produce in consciousness. Imagination. I am present in every imagination. And now, let's go a little deeper. Ask yourself any question. Any question. Who am I? What do I want? What's my purpose? What am I grateful for? And see what comes up as sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, perceptions. Say, I'm present in every experience I'm having right now. I'm present in every thought, in every emotion, in every imagination, in every idea, in every creative activity, in every experience that I'm having at all times. Nothing can exist as experience without me. In fact, I am the source of all experiences. What I call objects are experiences. They are a collection of experiences. Who's generating the experiences? I am. I am is generating the experiences. I am is aware of the experiences. I am is making these experiences, manufacturing these experiences. And even as it does so, I remain as I am in all these experiences. Experiences come and go, like the waves on the ocean, like clouds in the sky. I am is the screen of consciousness in which all these experiences are happening right now. Wherever I go, there I am. Whatever I do, there I am. But I am is not a person. I am is the infinite non-local consciousness in which persons come and go as sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, perceptions, every moment. So when I wake up, I begin to understand I am this person that started as a fertilized egg. Right now, looks like this, had many shapes and forms all through the moment of conception, will keep changing its form, ultimately disappear, but I am will remain. Because I am is independent of its productions. I am is infinite, eternal, and independent of its productions in time. What does that mean? That means I am is not subject to birth or death. I am pervades all of space-time, but also creates all of space-time. The theater of space-time and causality with matter and other objects is the creation of I am that transcends space-time, that is most primordial. I am. So now mentally let go of everything. But before you do that, let I am pervade outside your body. Let it step out as awareness outside your body. And let it permeate and pervade all of space-time. Let it go all the way into the Milky Way galaxy, across the universe. Mentally say to yourself, I am pervades all of space-time. In fact, I am is the creator of space-time. The theater of space-time, causality, matter, objects, biological organisms is an entanglement of productions of I am as this, that, or that. And all this is that. That, which is I am, becomes I am this, that, and everything else. And that's who we are. I am Tattvamasi. I am that. You are that. All this is that. That alone is. So now, just mentally disconnect from all that is I am this or that. And just stay with I am mentally. Keep repeating mentally. I am. I am. No name, no form. Let's do that, at least for a minute. Ideally speaking, 20 minutes. But right now, just for a minute. Let me track the time. Replace the I am with the mantra aham, 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 aham. Let the mantra go. Let even I am go. What's left? What's left is reality. What's left is infinite being. That's who we are. Rest in being, rest in awareness, rest in spontaneous joy, rest in infinity, rest in timeless self. That's it. Shapeless, formless, timeless, infinite being is I am. Wake up, guys. Please. If you do, perhaps we'll have a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. And of course, thank you for supporting Total Meditation.